in an authoritarian regime, doesn't care two hoots about freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, but it holds elections every 5 years to the parliament. What the SDP would like to see is the electoral process should lead to a parliamentary democracy, not the process leading to parliamentary elections. Please, these two are different questions. There must be parliamentary democracy, which means the electoral system needs to be looked at. Like, we would like to have a genuine, independent elections commission. Of course, elections commission is not the end all, be all. You know, it's not the entire solution to a parliamentary democracy, but that is one of the objectives of SDP. In fact, if you look at our neighboring countries, every country, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, even your country, India, has an elections commission. Of course, these commissions are not perfect, but at least that is the way that we should move forward. You may not be aware, in Singapore we have an elections department that comes under the Prime Minister's office that conducts elections. As my colleague Supri Mohammed pointed out, they are the players, they are the linesmen, they are the referees. They also provide some soft drinks during the halftime. And that is the kind of thing that we would like to see change. What I would re-emphasize is that we want an electoral process that would lead to a parliamentary democracy, not parliamentary elections.
Yes.
Hello. Now, this question about opposition unity, common manifesto. Is it possible? I think the facts has already shown you that over the past 30, 40 years, it's not been done at all. Not been done at all. And in fact, it has been discussed internally within myself, Dr. G, Mr. Ng, and so many occasions. So the fact up to today is not been done. So the past leader are people like Chiang Si-tong. So you know with Mr. Chiang Si-tong is not likely. Okay? If I should have the opportunity, yes, it's possible. How? I won't know at the present moment, because I think you all know, or rather, I'm a very honest person and I always speak by facts, by the truth. You know, like Channel 5, Gocha, get real. I always speak the real and facts. I never bluffy or single thing. And this is the proudest of myself. Up to 63 years old, I say, if I know something, you ask me, but it's no good to your benefits, I will not tell. I choose not to tell, but I will not cheat you. This is myself. So I think if I should have the opportunity a day, I think should be possible where I'm now looking at Mr. Ng Teck Siong. I have been working with him before. Dr. Chi, I worked with him also before for a short while. And also Jufri. So I think it's possible. And if I have the opportunity, I will work towards that. Thank you.
That's very encouraging. Thank you, Mr. Sin. And I think that last question was also directed to Seelan about how you encourage you to get into this campaign.
Thank you for the question. So far, we have been quite active online in gathering videos and information, setting up mailing lists, working on Facebook and so on, and we have been trying to set up various groups so that young people especially who are more savvy in such technology can get together and dialogue. We have not seen concrete showing of these numbers except for one. I'd have to point out the NTU students who protested at Speaker's Corner recently because the supposed censorship of an article or denial of printing an article about Dr. Chi's visit at NTU. And that was a very clear example of how they organized online as well, because the information they passed around and how everyone knew about it, why I was there was also online. So this is a new platform because the PAP has blocked all channels of human communication on the ground other than me speaking to you privately. So we do use online tools to gather these people. Beyond this, I still believe it depends on alternative information, because the only source of information is the mainstream media. I mean, if you look at newspapers and printed material, and some of these students, their parents believe that, so they tell their children, no, don't doubt the PAP, don't question all this, look at Malaysia, look at Indonesia, they will talk things like this. But there are youngsters who go on the internet and they read a variety of information, not just local bloggers, but international bloggers who are saying things about Singapore, who are saying things about democratic values, who are saying things about freedom and justice in general. And this is what motivates a lot of them. I've gotten personal emails from a lot of young people, a lot of students who are very, very keen on these issues and are very, very affected, but they don't have an outlet to do something. And the NTU students showed that at Speaker's Corner a few months ago. That was the first example. And we are, some of the young activists, we are getting together and we are trying to organize other events and other means of advocacy to share alternative information, because alternative information is the first step towards them taking action. Because right now, we can't tell them to make a decision because they haven't heard all sides of the story. They only hear one side of the story. So those are the steps we are taking regarding the youth before we get into concrete action. Thank you.
Before I take the next few questions, Mr. Jufri Mahmood has something to say.
Martin, see, you miss one more obstacle, when you mention all those obstacles. The other one is that the PAP is the prosecutor, the judge, and the executioner. So this is the added difficulty. Like in other countries, like maybe in Thailand, you have a monarch who is well respected. So if the people are being suppressed too much, they can always go to the monarch. And now you have very fierce court judges in Thailand who can even tell the government to resign. So in Singapore, who do we have? Can you go to President Nathan and tell them, I think Wong Kan Seng should be asked to resign? You can't, can you? So these are added obstacles. So that's why I say we must work together. But there are, unfortunately, some parties or leaders of opposition parties or alternative parties, leaders of alternative parties who feel that they are sikit atas. They don't want to come mix around with us. They ingat they're sikit atas. If they can't come to this forum, they can always send a representative. Itu party, how many people